The Chicago White Sox had an off day on Thursday. They are currently 30-31 and are coming off a 3-game sweep of the Detroit Tigers where they had a plus 21 run differential. Was it just simply the White Sox beating up on a bad team, or have the Sox started to turn things around? White Sox have a chance to test their recent momentum against one of baseball's best as they start a 3-game series in Houston.
You are Locked On White Sox, your daily Chicago White Sox podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, Sox fans, welcome to Locked On White Sox. Thank you for making Locked On White Sox your first listen each and every day. We're free and available on all platforms. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Sox. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just search Locked On White Sox. Hey, I'm your host, Nick Morawski, a lifelong diehard Chicago White Sox fan, recording this podcast just blocks from the ballpark in beautiful Bridgeport. You can find me on Twitter at Nick_GGTB. Really appreciate you letting me steal some of your time to talk White Sox. Locked On White Sox is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Lots to get to today regarding our Chicago White Sox, and I am very happy to have Yoan Eskridge from White Sox Daily joining the conversation. Welcome, Yoan.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Love the stuff that you guys do at White Sox Daily. You are following this team closely. I want to start, Yoan, I guess with the Detroit series. Have the Sox, in your mind, found something, or was it just the fact that they were playing the Tigers? Maybe a little bit of both.
You wonder about the lineups. The lineups have been consistent, and with the consistency is that putting guys in a more comfortable, less anxiety maybe with their at-bats, not pushing as much. Maybe that has something to do with it. And, of course, the Tigers certainly have something to do with it. They are not so hot this year.
Yeah. I knew kind of what was going on with the Tigers. I haven't been following them as closely, but they have dealt with a bunch of stuff, and they're really scuffling. But sometimes I feel like one of these types of series is needed. Guys get into a rhythm. There's some confidence. I would say, though, the pattern of the top 4 hitters, and you've probably realized this too, and with Danny Mendick in the 9th spot, I think 6 games they're sitting on now, with everything that's been going on with Tony La Russa. Has somebody taken the keys away, or is he somehow all of a sudden now figured out like this is what I should do consistently?
I had this conversation via Twitter earlier today. I don't think that TLR could have changed his strategy that quickly and started to maintain a consistency in the lineup I don't even remember how many days it was in a row, but it was something like 46 or 47, 50 games in a row where with a different lineup. I don't buy it that all of a sudden a switch flipped and he's fine with everybody where they're at. It seems odd.
Some of the lineups that were coming our way with Lurie Garcia at the top, and it almost just like he was screwing with us. And it just as hey, you know what? No one's going to do anything to me. I'm staying here. I can kind of do whatever I want with these lineups. Maybe I'm smarter than all of you, and I think I've found something. So yeah, it is really interesting. I love what's going on. I feel like these guys are getting comfortable. They know where they're going to be hitting when they enter the ballpark. Picking up one another. And I have to, I guess, circle back to La Russa specifically with everything that's, kind of gone on again this season, and the Trey Turner stuff, and, the fire Tony chants. Where are you at as a fan with Tony La Russa? Not even in the sense of, is he going to be fired or not? I think that's kind of a moot point, honestly, but like, where are you as a fan wrestle with Tony La Russa?
I am not a huge fan. I don't think that he is completely inept, but he does sometimes make some really puzzling decisions that makes it hard to not get angry about it. I mean, you bring up Larry Garcia. For Larry Garcia and Josh Harrison, if you look at their career numbers and you look at this season's numbers, um, when they're batting in the eighth and ninth spot, their WRC plus shoots, like quadruples, quintuples, from where they're at, anywhere below 7. So, it's like I kind of sometimes wonder um, what is going on. We've got, we go out of our way to hire a analytical guy for the dugout, and and it's Dave Duncan's kid, so Tony's not going to be rude to the guy and just tell him to go pound sand. He's going to at least like kind of hear him out, and it just makes me wonder: is he just not is he following his gut more than saying those stats don't know, they don't know what the heart is, what's in the heart, the TWTW, like the stats don't give you that. Or are they just not giving him the correct information? I don't know that.
Yeah.
You have to be, privy to what's going on in the dugout for that. But.
Yeah. I wonder, yeah, sometimes if there's just specific information that he requests, these are the things that I would like, and don't, bog me down with all of this other stuff, even though it might be available. We talk about lineups and what's going to happen maybe when Tim Anderson arrives, maybe next week. We'll see how he feels after playing shortstop for a few games in Charlotte. Danny Mendick has done such an unbelievable job. It almost seems so obvious just to move him over to second base. But, again, nothing's obvious right now in this season. Do you think that is going to be the strategy for the Sox?
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, the defense is a plus. At least at shortstop, it's a plus. I mean, he is a good, solid shortstop. He's not the rangiest guy like TA is, but he also doesn't have the wild arm that Tim sometimes does. So you kind of split the difference there, and you've got a productive shortstop. Now I assume that if he moves over to second base, I've seen him play second base with the White Sox a little bit, and I've seen I think it was I think Harrison was, I'm trying to remember who was it. Maybe I think it was Harrison at shortstop or something. It was very early in the season. I seem to remember them kind of having like some sort of a talk about what was going on with some sort of a double play situation. And I think it's going to be one of those things where it's going to take him some time to get feel for who he's working with in the infield. Obviously the double play combo is always one of those things that you have to build over time, and it's not immediately going to be amazing. But the offense has been good, and Danny Mendick is the consummate team player. He does what the team needs, and that was one of the things about Madrigal that everybody was so happy about, was he is a guy that would get on base, and he's supposed to move guys over, and he's supposed to play good defense. He didn't, that didn't work out, and run the base as well. Neither one worked out so well, but I don't see, personally, I would be shocked if Lyndon Sosa jumped up from Double A, because Luis Robert played in Triple A for a bunch of time. He played a bunch of games in AAA. I do not see them jumping somebody from Double A straight to MLB. And, I don't know as if they necessarily see Yolbert as a huge upgrade to what Danny Mendick does. So I don't know if I kind of doubt that they screw with that at all. And I don't know if they think Jake Berger is ever going to play second base. I mean, I don't think that, the bat's playing.
Yeah.
I just don't know if the defense is going to play at second base.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit more, maybe farm system prospects and White Sox starting pitching. We're going to do that in just a moment. Want to tell you folks about Athletic Greens. I've been taking AG1, their flagship product, for a few months now, and have noticed improvement in my overall metabolism, better sleep, and I just feel better. So what is this stuff? With one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, and probiotics to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging, all the things. Athletic Greens has over 7,000 five-star reviews, is recommended by professional athletes, and trusted by leading experts. It's cheaper than getting all the different supplements yourself. You're investing in an all-in-one nutritional insurance. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/MLB Network. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/MLB Network to take ownership of your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Hey, we have an important favor to ask you. We've put together a survey so we can learn more about listeners like you and make your favorite Locked On podcasts even better. This is your opportunity to tell us what you like and don't like about Locked On podcasts. Go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey right now to get started. It won't take very long, and everyone that completes a survey can qualify for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Ticketmaster gift cards. To take our audience survey, go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey. All right, Ian, I was talking with Dan Victor, who a couple weeks ago, about prospects farm system, and you mentioned guys like Sosa and Sanchez, and I just want to get your perspective of, could we see who is most likely, I guess, to come up and get some time with the White Sox this season?
Oof, that's a tough one. I think that the issue being is that, what are the White Sox willing to eat? Are they willing to dump Josh Harrison? Pouring through the stats for Josh Harrison, you see that his line drive rate this year has been a lot lower than normal in ratio to his fly ball and ground ball ratio. And in the last week or so, it's kind of been up, and he's been getting more hits. So I don't know if that's going to make it more difficult for them to eat that money or not. And, you still got Larry Garcia on the team, who's getting struck out by Castro in 3 pitches and then grounding into a double play to a catcher. I mean, yeah. And, they just signed him for 3 years and $16.5 million.
Yep.
And, the two things that the White Sox have always been very good, or at least, how about this? In the last, 6-7 years, the thing that the White Sox have been pretty good at is developing relief pitching and utility men. And so what did they do this offseason? They signed utility men and relievers. And it's, I don't know what they're going to be willing to give up on. I know that there's a couple of guys, relief pitchers down in Charlotte, that have been throwing the ball really well. And, you'll probably see some of those guys. As far as the position players, though, I mean, other than Hazley, who, he's kind of like a Nick Madrigal, but in the outfield, plays a little bit better defense, runs the bases better, and he has a little bit more pop in his bat. But one of my guys that I've been watching for almost 2 years, well, I guess technically about a little bit over a season, but Tyler Neslony in Double-A, I thought for sure he was going to start in Triple-A this year, and instead of him starting in Triple-A, they traded McKinley Moore for Adam Hazley, and then they signed Mark Payton, who's 30 years old. So, and Tyler Neslony's a little bit older, but he, also kind of got, screwed by the 2020 season, and so he lost a year of development and also got a year older. So now he looks older than his experience warrants because he lost that year. But they traded for him last year. He was in the Braves system, and he was hitting like 160 or something for the Braves. And within a week of him coming over to the White Sox organization, he was hitting like 350, and he's pretty much kept up on that pace for an entire year. And he's still buried at Double A. And I think that decent defense, fast, hits the ball well with pop. I would like to see him get a shot in the outfield, but I don't know if that's in the cards. So
yeah. I mean, how are things going to shake out? We've got we're waiting on Eloy, and then what do you do then with Pollock? You got to keep his bat around, and you've got Engel, who's been able to, with all of the injuries that we've been having, Engel has pretty much stayed healthy. And then Mendick's playing the way he's playing, and it's really interesting how things are starting to work themselves out a bit. Last year, when the Sox were scuffling and weren't scoring runs, it was the pitching was able to kind of carry the team, especially through the defensive problems. And we've had so many issues, especially with relief pitchers. The starting pitching, I haven't really been wowed by, and I think something that we all try to do as fans maybe is who's the ace, who's your ace, who's your stopper, who's your ace. And coming into the season, I still felt like it was Giolito. Cease has got the stuff. I think we've all been absolutely floored with what Kopech has done. Do you think about that as a fan? How do you rank our starting pitchers right now? And I guess you can throw in Lance Lynn, even though it's an extremely small sample size.
Yeah, it's hard to do that because, Giolito, he's given up a lot. His home run per 9 is up this year, and that's not helping him a whole lot. And he's not going very deep into games, and he's pretty much been a two-pitch pitcher pretty often because he's just not finding his other pitch in the game. Cease has done some really awesome things, but again, having him go deep into games, it hasn't happened enough. Dallas Keuchel's gone, and I am thrilled about that. And I will say that Cueto has been
he has
lot better than most people thought. Yep. I was, he was pretty decent last year, and I was hoping to get, probably about 6 innings, hopefully, and like a 4.5 ERA, and he's done better than that.
Yeah.
I mean, his innings count hasn't really been, up there so much, but the quality has been there, and so I'm happy about that. The Lance Lynn, we'll see. With the knee thing, we'll see how long it takes him to get acclimated, because those last couple of starts in Charlotte weren't exactly picture perfect.
Oh, yeah.
And his last start wasn't picture perfect either. So I'm not saying that he won't be, and that he won't be the same grizzly bear that he has been in past seasons. But I kind of think that he has kind of worn down as the season's gone on. The last couple of seasons, if you look at his by months. So maybe him starting a little bit later might help him out and have him fresh going into hopefully the playoffs.
Yeah, he's 35 and, coming off of an injury, and maybe this was, this is a good thing in a weird way. I hate to say that, for him to, take a few months off and then come back, and maybe that is going to keep him fresh. I want to talk a little bit more, Gio, in this upcoming Houston series when we come back, because, Houston is a nemesis of ours, and it's going to be interesting to put ourselves up against Houston. It's a 3-game series in Houston. Giolito gets the start on Friday night. How do the Sox match up? We're going to talk about that in just a moment. Folks, betonline.net is your number one source for all your betting stats and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, news, and odds, including this year's basketball championship matchup, the NHL hockey conference finals, Major League Baseball, and of course, all the latest fighting news in MMA and UFC to boxing. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sporting wagering information, including live betting, esports, and more. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline, where the game starts. So Sox will start this series Friday night. I believe it's the Apple TV broadcast or telecast once again. You've got a 3:00 game on Saturday, and then Sunday night has been, I guess, flexed, to use kind of like an NFL term, is an evening game. I think it's a 6:00 start. You've got Giolito, and then I believe Cueto. They're going to test Kopech. Maybe he goes. If not, it could be Lynn. Houston is 39-24 as we record. We all know what happened in the ALDS. Houston is tough. Giolito is going to start things out. He threw a complete game one-hitter to get the win for the Sox against Houston last July. How do you see this series going in? And is it something where you as a fan are saying after this 3-game series with Detroit, hey, the Sox got to take 2 of 3 from Houston. They got to come right back. If they don't have their offense clicking, the sky is falling once again.
Well, you saw the offense kind of come alive against the Rangers, and the pitching didn't end up working out. And some bizarre decisions, bizarre decisions in the Dodgers series as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'm kind of, and obviously the Tigers, they bludgeon them. So I want to see what the offense does against, Verlander. I want to see what they do against Framber Valdez. I want to see who they are when they're going up against guys that have owned them in the past. Abreu hits really, really well against Verlander. He's got like a 365 average and like 6 home runs or something off of Verlander. But everybody else pretty much either hasn't seen him a whole lot or doesn't hit him well. So that kind of scares me, but he's going up against Cueto. So that's going to be a weird thing because not many of the guys on the Astros have seen Cueto, or if they have, they don't really hit him that well. The only guy who's like really consistently hit all of the starting pitching that the White Sox are going to throw out there is Michael Brantley, who pretty much hits everybody. So it's not really that surprising. I will say, though, the one that I am worried about is the Kopech-Lynn flex start there. It's well known that Lance Lynn in his career is not good against the Astros. He's got like a 6 ERA or something against the Astros since 2018, I think. So basically, with the Rangers and the White Sox, his numbers against the Astros have not been good. And you've got 4 guys in there, starting 4 that have all got over a 1,000 OPS against him. Doesn't stack up well for him. And plus, I'd also like to see how Kopech flexes on him. I want to see if he comes out and does what he did to the Yankees in the second start.
Yeah. Yeah, I worry about the knee situation, and it looked really it would look troubling. It looked at first like he rolled his ankle, and then hearing it was a knee, and he's getting fluid drained, and being so cautious as they already are with Kopech. I obviously they know best. They're seeing him. They're going to watch his bullpen. But I'm with you. I'm more intrigued to see Kopech throw and the big stage than deal with Lynn because of everything that you mentioned. I like this series because, again, yes, it was Detroit, but these guys have a lot of confidence. It's swinging the bat well, getting into a groove, and yeah, now let's try it against one of baseball's best. And then after Houston, you come home for Toronto. So it's not like things get any easier. A couple guys really have been breaking out. Pollock, 7 straight multi-hit games, which is amazing. The guy we've all been waiting for, who finally had the game of his, year, Yoan Moncada. Have you been studying and watching and reading? And what is your take on Moncada? Is he slowly now getting back? Do you think is there hope for Moncada, or are we going to go back to hitting 120, 130?
We better hope so. I mean, I will say I think that a lot of it's mental with him. I think that the muscle strain definitely hampered his swing, obviously, and I think it took a long time for the results. By the time he felt like he was finally feeling healthy, I feel like there was like this gap where he just wasn't getting any results and he wasn't hitting the ball hard. I'm hoping that last game snaps him out of it, and we start slowly creeping that average and OPS up. That's what I'm hoping for.
There's something about muscle memory, and I feel like with video these days, whether you're a pitcher or a hitter, when things were going right, you can quickly go back to some video and get another set of eyes on something. And what was I doing there that I'm not doing right now? And hopefully, if he gets off the rails, he can quickly get right back on based on what he had going for him in Detroit. Ian, I can talk with you for a very long time, sir, and it's so great to have you on Locked On. Please plug all of the great stuff that you're doing and where we can find all of your outstanding work.
Yeah, so we are on Facebook at White Sox Daily, at Daily White Sox on Twitter, and White Sox Daily .substack.com is got a bunch of great articles, mostly lately by Dan Victor, who you mentioned before. A lot of interview stuff with some of the minor league guys. Not so much from me or Danny, my podcast / stream partner. We got a lot of stuff going on, so haven't had much of a chance or hankering to do that, but that stuff's available. And yeah.
And you are on Twitter as well.
I am at Eskridge.
Folks, if you haven't already, follow everything that White Sox Daily does. It's outstanding stuff, and you're usually putting something out. You record Monday, and is it available Tuesday? Is that usually how you do it?
I didn't even mention that. Yeah. We do a
I know your schedule.
Ridiculous. We do a stream on Twitch, twitch.tv / White Sox Daily. We are on every Monday at 9:00, and got a chat section, and got a bunch of fun little video stuff that goes on in there. And me and Danny just sit there and riff for a couple hours, and people hop in there, and we discuss what's on our mind, and then we meet up and talk about what the chat's bringing as well. It's a fun time.
Awesome. Ian Eskridge, thank you so much, buddy. Really appreciate you joining.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's been fun. I appreciate being on.
Thank you, folks, so much for making this podcast part of your daily routine. You can find the Locked On White Sox podcast absolutely everywhere you find your podcasts. We are on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Sox. You can find me on Twitter at Nick_GGTB. Hey, the first picks of the Ultimate NBA Mock Draft have been made. Search now for Ultimate NBA Mock Draft and get over 50 insiders, the Odyssey sports experts, the draft experts of Locked On NBA Big Board. The 5-episode Ultimate NBA Mock Draft is underway. Make Ultimate NBA Mock Draft your second listen today. Coming up on the next episode, I'll recap the Houston series, and we'll hopefully be discussing a lot of great stuff from our White Sox. Really appreciate you making time for the Locked On White Sox podcast. I'm Nick Morawski. Until next time, go Sox.